All right, guys. Today we got GDP data, jobless claims, 8:30. We're here. Put this up. Get some music playing. What's up, IRL? Yeah, we got a trading day tomorrow as well, though. Let's take a look at stocks. What's up, B? Swag. PCE data is tomorrow. GDP data is today. Apple had a really good day yesterday. Really, my whole portfolio did pretty well yesterday. Today is kind of flat. There's just not much action, but my whole portfolio did pretty nice yesterday too. Big, nice green day. A lot of stuff pushed up, except for NVDA. NVIDIA under 900s now. But Friday, the bond market and the stock market are closed, but the futures market is open. All right, guys, let's take a look at stocks. So again, first thing, we got NVIDIA here. Let me get... I'm still looking at this reversal indicator I built. It's still running pretty good. Hey, look. This one didn't look that well, but on the Q, I'm still testing it, but NVIDIA under 900s. Where's Tesla at? Tesla down. Apple had a great day yesterday. And again, we did bought it yesterday. Remember, we bought up Apple in pre-market yesterday. Worked really, really well. Very glad we did. Bro, this dude is in here for literally like 5 seconds, and he's spamming things over and over and over again in 5 seconds, bro. Come on now. Be better, bro. Be better than that. What if the results were good for dollar? Would I expect bearish expectations for gold? I don't know. Gold a lot of the time moves. Wait, what did you say? Oh, yeah. Yeah, realistically, he's probably a bot pawn. So, like, that's why I banned him. He's probably just a bot. He's probably not a real person. He's probably just a bot. What's up, Leo? Whew. All right. I gotta wake up. So yeah, I bought my son this Pokemon card. It's a 1997 Japanese Dragonite holographic mint PSA 9. You know, graded. I couldn't help myself from buy it, bro. My son always wants to go to these card stores, but like, I don't know if the market's dropping today or not. I really don't know. I think it could drop. I think it could also go up. It just depends on what GDP data shows up. GDP data is dropping today. It's expected at 3.2%. Jobless claims expected at 214,000. We'll put a timer up. They drop in a couple hours, so really about 2 hours. This timer's a little bit early, actually, so let me fix this. We'll leave it for now. It's a little bit early, but that's okay. The Q just went green on the day. We got that reversal signal down here, and we just went green on the day. NVIDIA's still under 900 bucks. The market's still doing all right, though. Apple, Tesla. You know, what we saw yesterday is the market moving with Apple a little bit more, which I think is good. I think if the market can get a little bit less weighted to NVIDIA and microchips, then it'll be a little bit more stable. All right, so GDP data expected at 3.2%. And jobless claims expected at 214,000. Both drop at 8:30, and will be covered immediately right here, along with the market reaction. Big red day today. I don't know. It depends on what the data shows up as. Do we have any earnings today? We got Walgreens early. We're in Walgreens, actually. You know, again, my portfolio is pretty good, man. Like I think once you have a long-term portfolio that's larger, you start to realize that, like, the edge that long-term investing gives you. It really does. Like, you know, again, my portfolio currently consists of Apple, AMC, ARM, Alibaba, Citigroup, Chewy, Delta, Etsy, Ford, Gold, GameStop, Google, Home Depot, Honeywell, Coca-Cola, MGM, Microsoft, Nike, Oracle, Pfizer, Palantir, PayPal, Snapchat, Snowflake, SoFi, SoundHound, Tesla, Tyson Foods, Walgreens, Unity, Walmart, and ExxonMobil. So we are in Walgreens. It's not a huge position, but we are in it, and we've been in it. Our average price in Walgreens right now is 22.13s. And we're slightly green today, but slightly red over the whole position. We're in Walmart as well. And we're up thousands on the year so far. Let's see if we can continue being up. Good day from Australia. How's Google looking for you? Google, I am in Google at 134s. Google is at 150s. So we're doing pretty well in Google. Reddit all the way down to 54s. Exhaustive selling should be down by today. Quarter rebalance as usual. GDP drops at 8:30. Markets will either fly or crash. What do you think? GDP going up or down? I really don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. All right, chat. Sorry. All right, chat. All right, let's see. Yeah, we'll see if NVIDIA gets up there. NVIDIA is still probably moving the markets. Like, NVIDIA is still probably the big market mover. Yeah, so again, we do just have the Q technically green, slightly green. Tesla basically flat. NVIDIA at 898. So we could look at Apple here. Let's see, Apple is 173s. What do I do with this? All right, well, this password thing is weird. All right. All right, all done. All right, so we're at 4:44. We still got about 2 hours left. Sorry, I'm working on stuff in the background. Frostbite, hey, do you think the euro US dollar is going to sell off more, recover? I really don't know, guys. Like, this is type of stuff that really I have no idea if it's going to happen or not. You know, like, I really have no idea if it's going to happen or not. Like, it really is something where I don't know. You know, it depends on what the data shows up as is the easy answer, right? Like if GDP data comes in low, market could tank. Market could also go up. It depends on what the market's fearing, really. If the market's fearing inflation, the market might not want necessarily to see super high GDP growth signaling more inflation problems. Although I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think, you know. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think the market might want more economic growth still, because I think the Fed said they were going to cut rates regardless. So how are we? Yeah, Home Depot is acquiring specialty distributor SRS for $18.25 billion in a huge bet on growing pro sales. Yeah, let's do a poll. We haven't done one yet. Let's do one. Does today's GDP data come in high or low? All right, vote on that poll about GDP data going live. If the previous was 3.2%, Euro UDS goes up, it will be the same today. Maybe. Snow is up. I just realized snow is up. I'm in snow. Green on the day, red on the position overall. Google up to 150, so we're doing really well on that one. NVIDIA, choppy, but my equities portfolio is green. Again, jobless claims also dropped today. And then remember, tomorrow we have PCE data, jobless, Jerome Powell press conference, and a bunch of other stuff too. Reddit taking a shot. Don't see any unusual insider sales so far. Yeah, Reddit is down to 54s. You know, so Reddit dipping a little bit. It's its first day. You know, it's had 2 red days in a row now. It's dropping all the way from 75 down to almost 50. So about $20 drop so far. It's at about 55 right now. So a pretty big drop for Reddit. What's up, Fox? Yeah, pretty big dip. All right, Q at 444s. So Q now technically red, slightly red. It's not major, but again, we got NVIDIA here at 996 or 896. I mean, so NVIDIA is still red on the day, under the previous close, under 900, which again I think is a pretty big milestone level. Has it respected 900? Yeah. So look at how many times it bounced up and down around 9. So it really wanted to hold. It just didn't. You know. All right. What else we got, chat? Are y'all a big Alex Hormozy fan? Bro, I'll watch his business content, dude. It'll motivate you to do stuff, bro. Like, I can respect it. He sold his previous business for like 100 mil, you know. And I'm usually not a big fan of like business gurus, but like his content's good. Bro, 2 weeks left until UFC 300. What do we have going on? Yeah, I can already tell my so here's a funny story. So I went to this is stuff that's been going on for the last year for me with my glasses, right? So like I went to an eye doctor. And basically the eye doctor did these tests, right? Like he did these like reaction tests, my peripheral vision reactions, like reaction time and like how well I identified my like things and like flashes in my peripheral vision or whatever. So he did this test, right? And I'm basically supposed to click the button when I see a light flashing in my peripheral vision without like looking straight. I have to, anytime I see a light flash, I have to click a button. Well, he said that when I did it, I scored super high on this test, like abnormally high, you know, like meaning like my peripheral vision was like way above average. You know, definitely top 3 peripheral visions in the world right now. But no, so, and his theory was that number 1, he said that I just have really good peripheral reaction time and vision. Number 2, he said that because I've gone so long, like I'm nearsighted, so I can't see far away very well. If I have to look at something far away, I have to essentially squint. But because I've gone so long without wearing glasses. Like, I can actually pass a driving exam without glasses, so I don't really need them like that, right? Like, I can see fine without glasses. You know, I can definitely see like normally without glasses. It's just if something's really far away, I have to squint at it to see it. But because I've gone so long without wearing my glasses, that my vision has corrected to give me very good up close vision. I don't know what it was, or peripheral vision or something was his theory, but he said it was like abnormally, like I scored abnormally high on the test. Basically top 3 best peripheral vision traders in the world right now is what he said. And yeah, I don't know. Anyways, he gave me glasses, and like I wore them for about a week, and then I put them down, never wore them again. I'm just not I don't need glasses, you know, and it's a hassle. And honestly, I started to get a headache when I would wear them. So I'd get like these massive headaches from it. I know you're supposed to get a headache at first, but like I never got past the headache phase. I just took them off. Maybe if I should get contacts, like that's what my daughter's telling me I should get contacts. But anyways, yeah, that's my glasses story. Just throwing this up again in case you missed it. Wondering if with your big portfolio you read out, is your strategy to sell any stocks that pivot down towards your buy in level, otherwise you hold? No, I mean, typically, it's definitely, I'm looking for stocks to sell on. I'm green in almost all of these positions, right? Like I'm red in AMC. I'm currently red in Alibaba, but it's mostly flat. I'm red in Chewy slightly. I'm red in Etsy. I'm red in GameStop. I'm red in Nike. I'm red in Pfizer. I'm red in SoFi currently. I'm red in SoundHound. I'm red in Tyson Foods. And that's the only thing. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm very green in Tyson Foods. Actually, that's it. I'm red in Unity. Sorry, I'm mostly flat. I'm down $4 in Unity. But still. So I'm red in less than a third of this position. Or these positions. So I'm red in less than a third. I'm green at over 2/3 of these positions. My strategy is very simple. I look for stocks that are healthy. Like, right? Like I think of stocks that I consider healthy. And most of the stocks that I'm red on are positions that are really speculative. Like Alibaba, always kind of sketchy to hold. Chewy, I'm in Chewy. I'm just going to sit in it, I think. That's a long-term play I can mess with. But like a lot of these positions I've actually taken profit on as well, so they're not really red. Like I've taken profit and then they dipped, and now I'm just gonna sit on the rest or whatever it is. So a lot of these I'm actually green overall on the position this year anyway. But yeah, but my strategy is very simple. It's basically identifying what I consider healthy companies, like companies that I think are healthy that have been dropping for months. Right, like Apple is a good example of it. Right, I bought Apple yesterday in pre-market. Here's a yearly chart on Apple. Apple's been dropping for months, since December. You know, so with Apple dropping since December, it's corrected a lot already. It's dropped from 200s down to 170. That's a pretty big percentage correction. And I think Apple's a healthy company. Like you get Apple's one of those stocks that's really polarized. They get some haters, but I consider it healthy. I might be wrong. Right? Like I could certainly be wrong here, but when we dipped this much, I can buy it up and kind of like dollar cost averaging into it, even if I need to. Like if I can buy it up and then continue to add to it over a period of time and then just sit on it. And I think when I do that, the probability of me eventually making money from it is very high. You know, it's very high. Like the likelihood that I'm eventually going to make money from this trade is very high. And of course, like this one worked out really quickly. I bought it at 169s. It bounced immediately up to like 170s. And so I was able to take some profit off, but I'm still holding a lot of it. And, you know, again, the likelihood that I'm going to make money on it is really high. So I'm just looking for healthy companies that have had big pullbacks. I don't like buying stuff when they're around highs. I think that even if I'm going to make money long term on the position and I can hold it long enough to make money long term, it'll probably go up over time. I'd rather have a good entry just for like my own psychological well-being, if that makes sense, right? Like I don't want to buy it at the highs and then have it just turn on me and have to sit in a losing position for a year plus. I'd rather that not happen. And in order to avoid that, I wait for healthy companies to dip a lot, like to drop significantly over periods of time, and then I buy them up that way. And then I'm not saying I never sit on losing positions, because I do sometimes, but this portfolio is green. It's up thousands right now, but I'm up thousands on the year. But waiting to buy and being selective on these companies, waiting for them to pull back, helps me a lot in terms of just the psychological, like me being able to look at the position and say, okay, I'm green, I can sit on this, because just the likelihood that a company that's healthy is pulling back is going to bounce is higher than a company that's at its highs and has been already ripping up for the last couple months and is really extended on the upside, and it's more probable that it's going to pull back, is essentially the strategy. But it's kind of a mix of swing trading and investing. If it goes in my favor short term, I'll take profit. I'll take some profit, not all profit. If it doesn't, I'll sit on it. Maybe I'll add to it. Depends. Do you like SoFi going forward? SoFi is a small position. It's speculative. I don't know. I hope it goes up, but I really don't know. SoFi is one of those companies that's got a huge following. All these traders talking about how great it is, and sometimes that can be a good thing. It can also be a bad thing, right? Like sometimes that sets traders up to just be manipulated, and like any company that, and I'm not saying this is SoFi, but I'm always on the watch for a company that pats its traders on the back and pressures traders never to sell and gets really emotional. Like, healthy companies don't need to form these really big followings around the stock in order to justify holding it. Apple, nobody needs to talk people into holding Apple. It's Apple. Nobody needs to talk anybody into holding Amazon. It's Amazon, right? So companies that I feel go out of their way to talk traders into holding them long term just makes me think they're trying to talk me into holding a depreciating asset. And so I just have to be careful. With SoFi, it's not a big enough position to where I think I'm necessarily at risk, but yeah, I just got to be smart with it. I don't know. How does GDP affect the market if it's higher than expected? It depends. It's nuanced. It's not always the same. U.S. government spending to GDP is a modern peacetime non-recession high. The only times it was ever matched were in the 40s during 2008. Yeah, all good, Steve. Times have changed a bit, though. Yeah. All right, guys, we do have GDP data, jobless claims data today. I've seen the markets retreat on good GDP reports before. Yeah, for sure. Like, it varies. Yeah, good GDP. Market expects more rate hikes, a more hawkish Fed, less likelihood of a rate cut if economic data is strong. Because like the Fed would cut rates if the economy was at risk, and if GDP is growing, the economy's not at risk. So like that's the lens you have to look at GDP under. You know what I mean? Like if GDP is strong, it usually signals less of a need of a rate cut. The Fed's going to cut rates when they think the economy's at risk, right? The Fed has a couple different tools to combat the economy. One of them is again quantitative easing, reducing the federal funds rate, cutting rates. They can inject liquidity through quantitative easing and money printing, and expand their balance sheet, buy up bonds and stuff, and that brings interest rates down to consumers, and then consumers spend more. GDP grows, economic growth happens, and then but with that said, that's why the Fed would cut rates, is if the economy was at risk. We did it in 2020, we did it in 2008. We brought interest rates down to almost zero. One of the consequences to that was a big burst in spending, and now we're here a few years later, where inflation is rampant and high, or it was rampant and high. Now it's at about, I think tomorrow they expect PCE data to come out at about 2.8%. So we'll see what that looks like. But again, we do have PCE data tomorrow. We do have Jerome Powell tomorrow. We do have GDP data and jobless claims today. And I think, I think we might just have people traveling right now. But I guess the overarching point I'm trying to make is, if GDP data comes in strong, it might signal less of a need of a rate cut. And we'll see how the market interprets that. If GDP data comes in weak, then it might signal more of a need for a rate cut, and it might mean the Fed might even choose to cut rates earlier. Jobless claims plays some factor here as well. Even though jobless claims is a weekly report on unemployment filings, jobless claims is still relatively important, and it's something that you want to watch as well. Today they're expecting 214,000, 214K. So we'll see what shows up there. But yeah, that's the idea today. 214,000. I think next week's pretty busy too, right? If we look at next week, I'm pretty sure we got like the JOLTS report. We've got non-farm employment and payroll data, S&P manufacturing PMI. Yeah, we got the JOLTS report, ISM manufacturing PMI data on the first, JOLTS report on the second, ADP non-farm employment and services PMI on the third, jobless claims, the Philly Fed, jobless claims on Thursday, Friday non-farm payrolls and unemployment data. So every day next week we got something going on. And then the week after that's CPI week. So, and then after that we're gonna start hitting earnings, right? So like earnings season starts next month again. So we do have earnings season starting next month. We'll see what that looks like. Again, Reddit is one that we're watching here as well. Reddit all the way down to 54s. Is it time to buy the dip in Reddit? I don't know. Looking at our poll numbers here, 62% think higher than expected for GDP. 38% think lower. All right, tomorrow we got opening day. Are we still in spring training? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to win the World Series this year. SoFi moving up a little bit today. Bouncing up a little bit. I'm going to go with the Dodgers, bro. I hope they win. Fed won't cut while unemployment is so low, because if they do that, inflation could get into wages. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to cut in July, regardless of what unemployment's at. Oh, well, yeah, I'm definitely value investing, Coach B, without question, I'm looking for low PE, healthy companies, dollar cost averaging, and then sitting long term. So yeah, I'm value investing for sure. So stock market and bond markets are closed. Futures markets are open tomorrow. Or wait, or are they all closed tomorrow? Okay, so everything is closed Friday, including futures. Bummer. Why in the world do we have PCE data when nothing's open? I still don't get why Reddit went public. What is the value of this? Is Reddit that much of a thing? Well, Reddit's successful. I mean, it makes money, you know, for the most part. Yeah, I mean, I think it's too early to cut. A lot of people were expecting a cut in March, and I just didn't think we would. I told a lot of people we wouldn't, you know. All right, so we got some votes. 66% of people think we're going to hurt the markets today with GDP data and jobless claims. Yeah, I'm kind of bummed. Like, I usually always like stream these results, and you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. Walgreens is out. Walgreens posted a adjusted EPS of 120. They beat the 82-cent estimate. Sales missed slightly. And they're up, though. Walgreens is gapping up some, so you'd love to see it. So, yeah, Walgreens just reported their earnings. They're up to 2160s here, chat. 2160s. Yeah, I'm surprised they're not just releasing PCE data today, right? Like, that would be the smarter move. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Powell said they're going to cut rates sometime eventually. I don't know when they're going to, but yeah, we'll see. All right. Hmm. All right, Walgreens up to 2170s. So Walgreens is gapping up a little bit on earnings. They came in, they had mixed results. They beat EPS, missed on revenue, which typically companies are more reactive to revenue than they are from EPS, right? EPS is margins. Revenue is kind of like the ceiling. If that makes sense. I don't think I'm going to make the World Series of Poker this year again. Why do they make it every freaking year around July 4th? Like, I got stuff I got to do. I got a family, bro. I can't just say, yo, family, let's go to Las Vegas for July 4th, bro. Like, y'all can't make it at a normal time. Like, y'all want me to go to Vegas on July 4th? Ugh. I mean, 3% inflation's not terrible, though, Dean. It's really not. Like, in the grand scheme of inflation, it's not bad. Now, I know they want 2%. 2%'s a hard target to hit. 2%'s, like, really good. And, again, I just don't know if we're going to hit that. I think we kind of need low inflation, though, because of what happened after 2020. I think we need low inflation. Because, very rarely do prices ever actually go down. They slow down. But because it's going to be very difficult to make prices literally drop, I think that we need to bring the inflation, increase as low as we can, of course, down to, I'd love to see it at 2%. I just don't know if that's, going to happen. We'll see. Yeah, we're at about 2.2%. I do like this graph, though. I should look at this a little bit more. But, like, here's inflation. We're right around 2.2%. Which inflation metric are they looking at? Are they looking at CPI or PCE? I think this is CPI. Yeah, this is CPI. So 3.2% was the last one. Yeah, again, you can kind of see, like, again, let me show you guys. Y'all want to understand macroeconomics in the Federal Reserve, right? Like, let's take a look at it, okay? So we'll talk about it, right? Let me make sure y'all can see this. Okay, yeah, y'all can. So here's the inflation rates, right? 2020 happened, right? So 2020 happened. And what happened in 2020? The economy was at risk, right? The pandemic happened. Everybody knows what happened in 2020. The pandemic happened. People had to stay home, lockdowns, all these things that were detrimental to the economy of the United States, right? So what does the Fed do? The Fed says, hey, the economy is at risk right now. The economy is at risk. Let's lower the federal funds rate. Let's inject liquidity through quantitative easing. And let's try to bring interest rates down to consumers. And that's what they did, right? They injected liquidity. They brought interest rates down. Inflation went down, once we started to really get, like, lockdowns and stuff like that, stimulus checks, what did you see? So once the Fed started doing these things, once we started to get stimulus checks, quantitative easing, and low interest rates, what happened, right? Inflation spiked. Right? Why? Because people can spend more. If people are spending less in mortgage payments, right? Like if interest rates are 2.5% and you're getting a mortgage, a 30-year mortgage rate for 2.5%, you're going to have a lot more money to spend on other stuff versus if you're paying right now what interest or what mortgage rates are, which is like 8%. You're going to have a lot less money to spend right now. So one of the consequences of the Federal Reserve coming in and bringing, interest rates down to almost zero is these big, massive spikes to inflation, right? These big, massive spikes. And again, inflation got up to over 9% at one point in time, over 9%. So inflation got really bad in these periods of time. And so then the Fed takes the other side. The Fed takes what's called a hawkish stance, which means a restrictive monetary policy stance. They say, okay, inflation's gotten really bad, right? Like, what do we do? And then they step in and they do what's called quantitative tightening, which is really kind of a newer thing, right? Like, they didn't always do this. They did what's called quantitative tightening. Passive QT is what they do. So they basically let their bond balance sheet expire and run off, mature is what it's called. They let their current holdings and bonds mature. They don't sell them direct, which is direct QT. They most of the time just let them mature and run off. And they also can raise the federal funds rate. We had a lot of rate hikes in this period of time, bringing interest rates up. Interest rates went up, and what was the consequence of that? People stopped spending as much, right? So when the Federal Reserve brings interest rates up, what happens? People stop spending. And again, so over this period of time, since we've had high federal funds rate, or since we've been raising and pausing the federal funds rate, since interest rates skyrocketed, mortgage rates went up to almost 8%. What happens? People stop spending as much, right? We're back down to about 3% right now, 3%, which again is not terrible. Is it where we were prior to 2020? No, not really, but it's close, right? Like, here's where we started 2020 at. So, I mean, I don't think we're in a horrible, horrible spot inflation-wise, right? And so if we do cut rates, I still think it's a little bit too early, but I don't think it's like a terrible thing. But again, that's the look at inflation through like a economic lens, right? Is this is the Federal Reserve. This is what they're doing. This is why they're doing what they're doing. And I hope that makes sense, right? When you start to understand and grasp this, understanding like economics and like the inflation influence and all this stuff, it's a lot easier to understand. Yeah, I mean, you're trying to look at it from a political lens, Robert. And again, it doesn't have as much to do with politics, bro. Like, it really doesn't, man. Like, it doesn't have much to do with politics. Like, this has to do with 2020, the Federal Reserve, their stances, what they've done, and again, just kind of the life cycle of a bad macroeconomic event like 2020 in the pandemic, right? Like, this is it doesn't matter who was president at that point in time. It's probably going to look like that regardless of who it was, right? And again, I'm very neutral politically. I don't care about any of that stuff. Like, none of that stuff matters. I'm not going to sit around arguing about who's better or worse like it's my favorite football team. I'd rather just stay away from all that stuff and talk about economics here. And so again, now the Federal Reserve is talking about cutting the federal funds rate. And again, if you want to know when interest rates are going to go down, let me see if we can look at interest rates here. Oh, they do have the federal funds rate. I should use Trading View a lot more. So here's the effective federal funds rate, right? So the federal funds rate is the rate that banks charge each other to lend money overnight to each other, right? But this influences everything else, and eventually this rate trickles into everything. So again, 2020 happened. What did we do? We brought interest rates down to almost zero. There's 2020, brought interest rates down to almost zero, and we held them there for years, right? One of the consequences of low interest rates is what? It's more spending. If people are paying less in auto financing, right? We could use whatever mortgages, financing, whatever type of lending you want to look at. If people are paying more in auto financing, in mortgages, they're going to have less money to spend on other things, right? And so if we have too much spending and inflation is rising at the rate it was, what does the Federal Reserve do? They bring interest rates up. They raise interest rates to consumers. They rate hike the federal funds rate. They brought it up to where it's at now, and we've been pausing for the last 6-8 months. Again, why do they bring interest rates up? Because again, when people are spending more money on auto financing, on mortgages, on lending in general, they have less money to spend on other stuff, and thus spending slows and it combats inflation, right? Like that's what this is. That's why it looks like this. So again, we've been at this level now. The question is, when do we start cutting the federal funds rate? And I don't know. I don't know when we start cutting. I think July is probably when it's going to be, around June or July. But again, your guess is as best as mine. We'll see what the Fed, what they decide to do. Walgreens is starting to break down a little bit. Walgreens down to under 20s. Or under 21s, I mean, technically red on the day. NVIDIA is still pretty flat, right around $900 though. What's that be? What's up, T? More spending because the 2020 prices started skyrocketing due to the so-called, yeah. I mean, people started spending more. They sent out stimulus checks, like the Fed did quantitative easing, and they bought up a bunch of bonds and brought interest rates down a lot, and then they sent out stimulus checks. All of these things contributed to more spending and ultimately more inflation over the next few years, and that's a natural consequence. When they did it, they knew what was going to happen, right? But again, it's pick your poison. Do you want a recession or a depression in times like 2020, or do you want inflation, right? Like either one, like no matter what, people are going to complain. Because that's what people do, is they complain, right? But it mostly stems from like a lack of understanding about things. Again, if the Fed didn't step in and contribute to more spending, bring interest rates down to zero, and we went into a deep depression or recession, then people are going to cry about that as well, right? And then if the Fed steps in and they bring interest rates high and they discourage spending and try to bring inflation down, then people are going to complain about that, right? Real estate agents are going to say, oh, interest rates are high. Nobody wants to buy a home. Mortgages are too high. And then if the Fed doesn't do that and they do something else, people are going to complain about it. So that's just the nature of things. Again, I don't want Jerome Powell's job. That's a tough job, man. Anyways, Walgreens is flat. Let's watch if NVIDIA can break over 900. Yeah, I mean, real estate is a struggle right now, and understandably so. I mean, people, real estates will always tell you it's the best time to buy, and I'm a licensed real estate agent, and I'm here to tell you it's not. I'm not buying up anything right now, not unless you pay cash. Cash is king right now. If you pay cash, it's a different story. Again, I'm not giving out real estate advice. I'm not marketing myself as a real estate agent. I'm just telling you, like, you ask a lot of real estate agents or mortgage brokers, and they'll tell you it's always a great time to get a loan, and you could always refinance. They're mostly saying that because their businesses are struggling, right? That's mostly why they're telling you that, is because their businesses are struggling. I'll tell you this. Right now, it's not the time to get a mortgage, in my opinion. Interest rates are still pretty high. They're at 8%. The conventional appeal of buying a home is that you can get a mortgage, you can put up a down payment, get a mortgage, and pay less than you're paying in rent and actually own the property, right? That's the conventional appeal. Right now, it's not like that. Right now, that is not happening. Right now, you're going to pay way more to mortgage a home than you are to rent a home, and that makes it not a great time to get a mortgage. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they tell you can refinance or whatever it is. It is not a good time to mortgage a home right now. It's just not. Right? If you pay cash, it's a different thing. It's a different story. You have a big edge. If you pay cash, you can come through and offer cash, maybe get a little discount on price, all that good stuff. But yeah, it's not a good time to mortgage a home, in my opinion, right now. And again, a lot of mortgage brokers or whatever are going to disagree. That mostly they're just trying to, they're confirmation biasing it up. They want mortgages to, a lot of them are struggling right now, right? Like a lot of them did really well when interest rates were so low in 2020 and they made millions of dollars or whatever. It's similar to 2008, right? Where mortgage brokers, like, they gave out so many loans. They did so well in periods of low interest that they put themselves in bad spots, man. They started mortgaging homes that they couldn't really afford, and then interest rates turned and skyrocketed up, and now they're struggling, and they don't have any business. Nobody wants to buy a freaking house right now, and so again, I'm glad I don't really. I mean, I'm a real estate agent, but it's just not a good time right now. It's just not a good time. I mean, if you got cash, it might be a good time to buy Dean. But like, again, it might be. I don't know for sure. Nobody can predict the future. But a mortgage is definitely not the time, in my opinion. You know, I'd wait. Good Friday rally. Well, markets are all closed tomorrow, unfortunately. What do you think about CGC? I've seen CGC for years. The problem with CGC and other cannabis stocks is this. The problem is simply that federal legalization is up in the air, right? Like, we could always talk about how we want to federally legalize, and whichever side has power always says it's the other side stopping them from doing it. But in the end, both sides get too much PAC money and too much lobbyist against legalization from law enforcement, from the pharmaceutical industry, and from the prison industry. For me to be confident about any soon legalization for cannabis stocks, right? CGC, you know, we got TLRY, you got ACB, you got all these cannabis stocks. They've been around for a decade now, almost. And again, every year you get optimism. Every few years you get optimism, and then federal legalization just doesn't happen. You know, again, too many anti-cannabis lobbying groups out there. Again, mostly from the pharmaceutical industry that recognize that cannabis legalization. A lot of it is also law enforcement, because again, like, law enforcement locks people up unnecessarily for something that's an objectively less harmful thing than alcohol. You know, it's just a big story. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know when legalization is going to happen, but I'm certainly not confident enough in it to put money into that sector, you know. But it's high risk, high reward. Maybe if it does, you know, you'll make money. Nvidia over 900s, still technically red on the day, but it is over $900, and I think that's a good sign. It's up to 901s. Yeah. Nvidia back up to 901s, testing that previous closing price. So look at Nvidia start to run. This should drag the market back up, I would assume. We're going to get the market pushed up from this. What's up with Best Buy closing stores? It's a brick and mortar retail store. I don't know. Most penny stocks and people pumping penny stocks are just losing investors. No offense. I'm not trying to talk smack, but like, most penny stocks are terrible companies that are going to fail. You know, like, people that go from chat room to chat room pumping them are usually just emotional traders. Again, they've gotten talked into buying a terrible penny stock company that almost certainly is not going to succeed. Most blue chip stocks do not start off as penny stocks. They immediately IPO. You see it with Reddit. They immediately IPO. They're already mid caps over 30, 40, $50. But for whatever reason, a bunch of naive, young, new retail investors think that somehow they're holding the next Amazon and penny stocks, and you're almost certainly not. And again, Don't buy penny stocks, you will lose money. Yeah. Again, new traders get so wrapped up in it, bro. They get caught. Like, yeah. You know, some get so emotional they go from chat room to chat room trying to pump it up. Like, it's really going to help. Like, anybody's going to see them pumping it and be like, yeah, let me buy that crappy stock now. Like, these are just terrible companies, man. Healthy companies don't need to do this, you know? Like, people are just, yeah. All right, chat. Yeah, so I'm reading this stuff on business. Hey, John, what do you think of real estate investment trust in today's market? I don't know. I think it depends on when you think interest rates are going to go down. I wouldn't sell NVIDIA right now. They're always priced to perfection, and then they jump 10% higher with face. I don't know. Spot gold moving higher right now. Yeah, gold sitting. Gold's still moving up a lot. Gold at 2230s. Very good day for gold as well. Up big on the day already. Had a pretty good day yesterday too. So gold's doing really well. Up to almost 2300. You know. So we'll see, but it's doing okay. All right, so look at the Q dipping down. Let's watch NVIDIA here. NVIDIA pulling back to 900 bucks. I might buy this dip. Again, we did make some money yesterday. I might buy this dip small, just because I think NVIDIA might bounce at 900s. So we're gonna scale into this. And again, do not copy me. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly. Remember, I am terrible at this stuff. Have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Do not copy me. I'm not an investment professional. Understand rule CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance results may have certain limitations. All that good stuff. Do not copy me. All right, we are in this trade. We are down. We're in 5 contracts here. I want to see if it bounces, though. I think NVIDIA could bounce at 900, and that could pop this higher. So you might actually add a little bit more here and then just keep it steady. Just kind of played around with it. All right, there's the bounce. Kind of flat. And again, this is trading futures. On Apex, they still have their 80% off sale going on right now. They do still have their 80% off sale going on, where you get 80% off Apex funded accounts. This is an Apex funded account. And again, on Apex, they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you. The base one's $25K. It's only like 35 bucks if you use my link, and my coupon code BT, beginner trading, will get you the max discount. And again, they're going to give you the base one for 35 bucks. They're going to give you a $25,000 demo account. And you got to only make $1,500 in profit on that demo account. If you do, when you follow their rules, they fund you $25K with a 90% split. You get to keep your first $25K in profit as well. And they're one of the most legit in the world. They've paid out over $100 million to their traders. A great way to learn day trading with limited risk, because if you lose, it's not the end of the world. You know, you're only out 35 bucks what you pay for it. But if you're good enough to pass it, 90% split. And again, you can see it's very similar to day trading stocks. I'm probably going to have to cut this if we break this low. But yeah, it's very similar to day trading stocks. I can day trade short and do all that different stuff in the market. No, you can't play video games, bro. Do not come at me asking me to play video games at 6:30 in the morning, buddy.
Yeah, but I mean later.
Yeah, you can. Oh, okay, Jack, listen. I love you. I'm trading right now, buddy. You obviously can't play video games right now. No. Buddy, my stream's not supposed to, like, buddy. Jack, I'll let you know when you can play. Okay, I love you. Please get out of here. Thank you, buddy. Sheesh, man. My son, I let him play video games. He comes in here trying to wake everybody up, asking to play video games. He turns into, like, the most toxic kid with video games. All right, so we're starting to bounce up a little bit. All right, so we're almost green here. We're gonna wait. Yeah, I mean, I'll do whatever I want, but for my son, it's detrimental to play that early. Like, it really is. Like, if he plays video games, he turns into, like, a huge jerk after he plays. And so we just have to restrict him. We can't let him play all day. But what my son's smart, right? So he knows if he can come up to me while I'm busy in the middle of something and ask me then, that hopefully I'm going to break and just be like, yeah, do whatever you want, right? And that's why I'm kind of frustrated with him, because he knows what he's doing, right? He comes in here knowing I'm working, knowing I'm busy, and he tries to ask me now to put the pressure on me. And so you just got to stand firm with that type of stuff as a parent, you know? Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's smart. He knows. He knows if he hits me with it now while I'm in the middle of something that he's gonna have a better shot. We'll let him play at like 11 a.m. You know. But I didn't even need to look. Like, I knew immediately what he was trying to do. Oh, I'm not mad at him. He's not in trouble for it, but I just got to stay firm, you know. All right, so again, NVIDIA's flat. We are getting a bounce. I like the way this looks, so let's see if we can get it. So again, we're completely sideways here. There we go. We're slightly green now. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit off just to profit a little bit here. Lock it in. Take a little bit more off. Boom. Nice little rise. Take a little more off here. We'll let the rest move. I just accidentally short. I didn't want to. Here, it's alright. Yeah. Smart kid. No school today. They're out. I love him, but he's smarter. He's smart and he knows how to use leverage very well, you know. All right, so we got out right at the right time. I might buy this back though. I see NVIDIA starting to push. So we're gonna buy this right back up. Take 3 contracts, maybe 4. And I'm buying this because I see NVIDIA push up a little bit. It's at 901s. Yeah, I'm funded in a bunch of different accounts. Yeah, and again, we're trading very small right now. We're just kind of playing around. We're waiting for GDP data to drop before we take any major, like, larger positions. So I'm trying to build up a cushion of $100. Yesterday we made $700 or $800 in this account, and so yeah, we're just trying to slowly build up a cushion early and let the data come out, and then maybe trade a larger once we have the data come out. I just locked in a little bit more. 2 contracts left. We'll let the rest hold break even now. Yeah, phase is phasing out in my opinion. Its time is over. Too many kids with their heads. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not one of those parents, like, you got some parents that just kind of let their kids play video games all day, every day, and never really parent them. I'm not one of those parents. Like, same kind of parents you have that let their kids, like, use social media when they're 10. You know? Like, just lazy parenting. You know what I mean? I'm not one of them, you know? Again, because what you do now is going to impact who the kid is. And, like, I want my kid to be well balanced. I'm not saying he can never have social media. I'm not saying he can never play games, right? Balance is, I try to be authoritative. You know, you don't want to be authoritarian and be too strict and just end up causing unhappiness in the child. You also don't want to be too loose and let them do whatever they want to do, because that'll cause unhappiness and that'll cause unbalanced kid. The right way is somewhere in the middle. Authoritative parenting, firm but fair, is the psychological, you know, way to do it. And yeah, that's what I try to do. What do you mean a free refund? I'm going to take half off of this. I don't really like this at all. NVIDIA started dip down to 900, so I think there's too big of a chance that this turns into like a bear flag look. So we're just going to cut it and get out. Yeah, there's the Apex code if you want to check it out. Great way to help support the channel. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm biased because they pay me money. But again, it really is useful, and you can get a big discount right now if you use them. Yeah, I don't know. It's been hard for me to relate with most of the other parents of my kids' friends. You know, like a lot of parents, man, they're just trying to drink, and so like they're always just like everything they do is like, hey, where can we drink? Let me bring the kids here. Like I'm not really that type of person, man. Uh, yeah, we're not gonna insult other people's kids, man. Come on now. Um, the older you get, the more you realize how many friends you truly have. Yeah, I mean, you know, Drake wasn't lying when he said no new friends. You know, most of the new friends you try to make are really just trying to use you for whatever reason, bro. I don't know how many people, like I think what happens is like I've got a lot of friends, man. Like I'm not even lying. Like I've got a good amount of friends that I have a good amount of friends, right? But I'm really nice to people. Like I'm not mean to people. Like if I meet somebody, if I meet one of my kids' friends' parents, I'm nice to them. And I think sometimes people mistake kindness for weakness, you know, or like you know what I mean. And I've had a lot of them come here, and I never tell anybody about my YouTube channel because it always just causes problems, right? I tell my wife like, yo, do not tell anybody. An example of this is, again, my wife told one of my daughter's friends' moms about my YouTube channel. Even though I made it a rule, I was like, look, do not tell anybody about this YouTube channel. I don't want people to know. It ends up just causing problems. They either think I'm just straight up unemployed, or they think I'm like Logan Paul out here pranking people, or you know, or if they do understand it, they're gonna try to get something from me or whatever it is, right? It's usually how it goes. And so I've just kind of made it a rule, like, hey, just don't tell anybody, you know? Like, I make money outside of YouTube as well, so it's kind of like, I keep it easy. I just make money outside of YouTube. But my wife ended up telling one of my daughter's friends' parents about my YouTube channel, and before you know it, she's got her brother reaching out to me being like, hey, guys, you know, like, what's up? And, I'm not going to go into detail, but like in the end, people's intentions are so transparent, you know, and again, it just causes problems. Like, I don't need to be your friend, bro. Like, if you make my base for a friendship is like, are you going to be resentful if I do well? If I'm doing well, are you resentful for it? If I'm doing good and you're doing poorly, are you mad about it? If you do get mad in any way, or if you get insecure, if you get jealous, you're not my friend, bro. You know? And again, it's surprising how many people claim to be your friends, but deep down, they're like really, truly like rooting for you to like struggle. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird dynamic, man. So my friends are people that I've known for a long time. You know, I'm not going to make any new friends. It's just not worth it. Anyways, we got 40 minutes. Yeah, I mean, you start to realize that more. He said, "I'm in high school. I just started to notice that." You'll realize it more as you get older. You know, as you get older, like, again, there's something like older people, they want to, like, quote unquote network more, right? And some of them are fine, man. Like, it makes you not trust people over time. Like, the more it happens to you, the less you trust people over time. You know, the more you just kind of stay away from all of it and you just avoid it. Alright, so we're looking at NVIDIA here. Again, we're mostly flat. I wanted to see if NVIDIA would bounce at this 200 EMA VWAP level. It's right around that spot, right? It's close to it. You know, I wanted to see if we would bounce here at $900. I don't know. Again, we'll see. But I think $900 for NVIDIA is a milestone level. It's just, it's an even number. Jealousy is wild, 100%, man. You know. Again, it gets really weird when, again, I've said this before, when they start, like, personality mirroring you, you know? And it's so transparent. It's like, dude, get out of here, bro. Like, look. Like, you tell them, like, an example of this is, like, you tell them you like different things. Like, I tell them I used to skateboard, right? And they're like, oh, I used to love Tony Hawk's video game, right? And then they won't shut up about Tony Hawk's video game. It's like, bro, I played Tony Hawk's video game, but I don't give a crap about Tony Hawk's video game, bro. Like, stop it. Like, nobody cares about it, dude. Like, leave me alone. You know, like, stop it. But people get weird, man. It's weird. I think when you get older, people look everything at like a business transaction, I think is what it is. Anyway, Snowflake is gapping up today. I'm just now seeing it. Walgreens is actually red. It had mixed results, but it did end up dropping down a little bit. So Snowflake is up though, SNOW. I'm in this right now. I'm in a very small position. What's the news here? Snowflake shares are trading higher after a Form 4 filing showed CEO bought 31,542 shares of stock at an average price of $158.52. It's a pretty good average. You got in right around here. So, caused Snow to gap up. CEO buying shares. It's usually a pretty optimistic thing. Yeah, I mean, 9 is an even, or 9 is an odd number, sure. 900, anything with a 0 at the end of it is an even number, sir. So, I mean, look, I'm not going to argue about it, Viking Steel, but you might want to check your math skills, brother. No offense to you. It's all love here, you know, but no offense to you. Is it cold outside? Bro, I made $100 in 10 seconds compared to 4 hours making $60, man. I'm never stopping. Never stopping, bro. Do your thing, man. I'm not mad at you, bro. Make your money. Do we have Michigan consumer sentiment today? Let me see. We do. It's not really a big release, though. Like, the University of Michigan consumer sentiment is a relatively small release. It's not something that causes, like, a big watch. Like, a lot of people don't watch it, I guess is the point. Yeah, BT, beginner counseling. You know, you're welcome, Chad. I'm going to start charging you guys for this. Yeah, I'm just kind of venting here. You know, nobody's going to find out. Y'all keep it a secret, right? You know? Me and my 500 internet friends today. Market open tomorrow? No, it's closed, man. Yeah, I mean, not so boring. I mean, listen, man. This is the NVIDIA chart. Like, bears always try to make it really sensationalized. But, like, look, bro. So you're telling me, let me just get this straight. Not so boring. Not so boring said NVIDIA died, man. Okay, so let me just get this straight, right? So here's a weekly chart. Here's NVIDIA since October. So NVIDIA did this right here, and so now it's dead, is what you're saying. So NVIDIA did that right there. You know, now it's over with it, right? Like, it's just the end of it. It's the end of NVIDIA as we speak, sir. Is that correct? Just want to make sure that's your thesis today. Gold has honestly been doing really well. I'm in gold also. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just not the first time you said that. Not so boring. You know what I mean? You've said that multiple times today, and I saw it at first, but then you kept saying it, and so I'm just, eventually, I have to just kind of put this out there, like, and I get it, but again, and I think a lot of day traders, they really have this magnified view of markets to where every red open is just the most parabolic crash you could ever imagine, right? And every green open is just the most green the market could ever be. But that's no, for lack of a better word, that's a rookie mindset. You got to look at the overall trend long term, not short term. Markets are going to open weak, they're going to open strong, and when you watch them every day over and over and over again for years, you start to really understand that it's just another day. It's not the end of the world. This might be the first. I mean, with that said, though, just to add a little bit to this might be the first red week NVIDIA's had in a long time, though. So on a weekly perspective, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. NVIDIA's had 11 red weeks or 11 green weeks in a row. It's looking like it's going to end red, though. Unless it can get up to lifetime highs today, it's going to be its first red week in 11 weeks for NVIDIA. So it's got a long ways to go. It's got to go up basically. It's got to go up over 10% today, or around 10%. I'll say around 10%. It's got to go up around 10% today if it wants to have a green week, and I don't think that's going to happen. And so it might be the first red week in 11 weeks, but it's certainly not the end of the world. Pullbacks are healthy. Corrections are healthy, and stocks need to correct, to be honest. All right, we do have 30 minutes left until GDP data and jobless claims reports. So how will the markets react? I don't know. It depends on what the data shows up as. Routine price action, just another day. 100%. That's exactly right. It's just routine. Like, this is all, again, you see it a lot. Like, I've seen day trading gurus, right? People that were day trading gurus who now all of a sudden are trying to cover economics, which is kind of what I am, right? But I always liked economics and broad stock market value investing, and that was always kind of my thing anyway. But you see a lot of day trading gurus all of a sudden start turning to like investing. And what they do is every other week they're predicting a market crash, right? So every other week the market's about to crash. They're pushing videos out on it. They're telling you the market's going to crash tomorrow. And then the market ends up ripping up 5%. And then they post a bunch of other videos diluting their wrong prediction. And then a couple weeks later they do the same thing saying, the market's going to crash now. And then it doesn't crash and it keeps pushing up, and then they put a bunch of more videos out diluting the stuff that they did. And they just do this over and over and over again, and some retail traders fall for it, right? Like, some people, I'm going to put this out there, there's some people that have predicted a market crash every 2 weeks for like years now. And at a certain point, when are they going to be like, yo, I've said this every couple weeks and I've been wrong every freaking time? But again, they just keep on producing it. So just be resilient to that, chat. Like, be smart. I'm not saying we're not going to crash. We certainly could. Again, what I'll tell you is that if NVIDIA does start to correct back down to like $600, that's when a crash could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. That's when a crash could happen. It's not outside the realm of possibility for a crash like that to happen. NVIDIA is already up a lot, and when NVIDIA starts to dump, if it starts to dump, I should say, that could cause a snowball effect where NVIDIA holders get emotional and start to sell, and then that pumps it down. That certainly could happen, and that's the scenario in which we could get a market crash. But at the same time, I thought this could happen a year ago, and it hasn't happened yet. And so I'm not saying it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. I don't know. But that's the scenario. That's the scenario in which we're going to start to potentially see a market crash, if we're going to see one, which again isn't necessarily going to happen. So, and again, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think we see a market crash like that? I don't know. Fed could be cutting rates. The Federal Reserve could be cutting rates. The Federal Reserve could be cutting rates sometime this year, July. They could end their QT program and start to try to bring interest rates down to consumers, cutting the federal funds rate, ending their QT, and ultimately being more dovish. But we'll see if they do and when they do. If we look at the actual probabilities of this here. No, is that my coffee? Okay, good. About to spill. Yeah. So if we look at the probabilities here. Next one is in May. Still in May, most people are expecting a pause of the federal funds rate. Another pause is what they're expecting in May. I always thought June could be when they start to cut rates. And again, that's what this shows as well. June is when a majority of bets are on rate cuts, 25 basis points specifically, rate cut. And so again, we'll see if that happens. But June is now when people are mostly expecting a cut. So if you want to know when interest rates are going to start to go down, reducing the federal funds rate could help. Obviously, ending the QT program could help. And so again, we'll see. Now, one of the interesting parts about this, so again, reducing the federal funds rate is going to bring interest rates down to consumers, right? Same thing with ending QT. If all of these things happen, are people going to start betting more on real estate? Because one of the things that we could see when interest rates go down is that home purchasing, home sales start to go up. So I'm wondering if there's going to be an opportunity. What's your favorite real estate investment trust? I know V&Q is one. So with all the optimism about a potential rate cut, I'm wondering if we're going to start to see strength in real estate. And we already have seen strength, really. Here's a weekly chart. This is back 2023. So we're really down since 2023, but are we going to see another? Will rate cuts make this go up? I would assume they would, because cutting rates reduces the federal funds rate, eventually trickles into mortgages, which should cause more real estate sales to go through. More people are able to get a more affordable mortgage, and so in that, potential real estate might shoot up is what I'm guessing, but I don't know. Again, I'm just kind of speculating here. Would a cut not be considered a possible bad sign, since that means the Fed is trying to help the market? No, not necessarily. Generally a healthy economy is generally a healthy economy can have low interest rates. It can. It's not. It doesn't always, right? Like right now, the economy's okay and interest rates are high, but and of course we're gonna get some people that are really political argue about that, I'm sure. But right now, again, spending is high, inflation is relatively low. And so we're just, at least in terms of recession risks, we're not there. Typically the Fed's going to cut rates when we have recession and depression risks. When we have too little spending, they're going to start cutting rates. And I don't think we're really there now. But I think the Fed, if we listen to what they've said over the last few months, they seem pretty dead set on cutting rates, regardless of economic weakness or not. Unemployment's still pretty low. So unemployment's still pretty low. And the Fed seems pretty dead set on cutting rates. So we'll see. I think they're going to cut rates regardless of economic weakness or not. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll necessarily. It could mean bad signs. It just depends on which lens you look at it. The bad signs, though, that I'm talking about are specifically inflation being a problem. Because, again, one of the problems of rate cuts is that if inflation is not under control when we start cutting rates, that could make inflation worse, right? So cutting rates too early could exacerbate the inflation problems, is what it is. Inflation right now is about 3.5%, which isn't terrible. It's not great. It's not terrible either, though. So that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, market bouncing up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk about politics really, Andrew. And just a request, please don't talk about politics too much in the chat. Like, if it's directly related to the economy, that's fine, I guess. But outside of that, just let's try not to argue or, push political sides too much either way. Not saying you are, I just, let's just keep it no politics, no religion, preferably, if we can. All right, so again, the NASDAQ technically green on the day now, I think. So the QQQ is at least. Here's the NQ. So yeah, the NASDAQ testing the previous closing price here. Might be a big level. NVIDIA over 900, still red on the day, though. And maybe GDP data helps this, but... yeah, we're watching Reddit to see if it holds. Again, NVIDIA over 900 now again. Hey, nice, Pablo. Congrats, man. Yeah, I mean, if you talk politics too much, again, and it's not related to the economy, then I'm just gonna put you in timeout. And then, again, I'm not trying to be difficult or whatever. I just too much political arguments in chat's bad for the channel. Tonka P tracker, so Parker finally won a tournament. Good for him, man. How much did he win? Anybody know? Oh, he won 134,000 euros. Nice. Krispy Kreme, yeah, D and UT had a big move a few days ago. NVIDIA over 900 bucks. The Q slightly green on the day. The NASDAQ slightly red, but let's see NVIDIA move up. Gold. Yeah, gold's ripping right now. Look at gold. Gold's moving. Krispy Kreme is great. It depends on how it is, though, right? So can you explain how the QQQ connected to the NASDAQ E-mini futures? The QQQ is the same price action as the NASDAQ E-mini futures, Jashman. So, again, if you look at the NASDAQ here, and then you look at the Q, it's the same price action. Like, look. Like, let me pull this down a little bit. Like, look. This is the same as this, right? Like, look, I'll draw it out real quick.
But this is the same thing. Like, look, I'm trying to make it look. Look. That's the same price action. So it's a different price completely. The Q actually tracks this right here because it's open in pre-market, right? Now, really, this is the NASDAQ 100. But similar to the S&P, the actual equity one isn't open in pre-market, or it isn't open. So this tracks the NASDAQ 100 futures contract. The QQQ price tracks this, and it's the same price action. It's just better liquidity here. So like, look, down move, up, consolidation, down, move, up, consolidation, down, up. Same price action. This one you can trade in futures on Apex with no PDT rule, right? So you can get exposure to the QQQ trading in futures, no PDT rule. Again, Apex currently has their 80% off sale going on where you can get packages for 80% off and a one-day pass going on still. You can use my promo code BT, get the max discount at all times. You can check it out here. Again, great way to help support the channel. I appreciate the love. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. But again, you can day trade, learn to day trade. If you lose, it's not the end of the world with these funded account programs. The base one's $30-$35. If you lose, you're out $30-$35. If you're good enough to pass it, you get $25,000 in funding with a 90% split, you know. So again, best of both worlds, limited risk, but if you can pass it, you get funded a big amount. And again, it teaches you how to trade under pressure. And again, in the futures market, the patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks, very similar to equities. There's just no PDT rule. You can buy market, sell market. I mean, most times, I mean, it's the same exact price action. Jasmine. So again, like, look, I'm not sure what you're looking at. You might be looking at different time frames, but like, look, this is what's going on. Downward move, downward move. You know, there's just more liquidity on the NASDAQ, but outside of that, it's just better liquidity, but it's the same exact price action. Like, look, downward move, small bounce, downward move, small bounce, downward move, small green candle, you know. Downward pressure. It's the same thing. Man, look at NVIDIA pop up to the previous closing price. Hey, nice, Aiden. What's up, MJ? Hey, please stop spamming MJ. I mean, I appreciate it, but you don't have to say the same thing 5 times. Thank you. PDT is the pattern day trading rule. What will happen if GDP comes in higher or lower? I don't know. It could mean inflation problems. If it's higher, it could mean we don't know what the market wants. It's nuanced. It varies, right? Same thing with jobless claims. Sometimes the market wants more jobless claims, i.e. less people working, because that means less spending and less inflation problems. Sometimes the market wants more people working with lower jobless claims because that signals economic growth. Same thing for GDP. Sometimes higher GDP can signal economic strength and the market can move up, and sometimes higher GDP can signal inflation problems. And so it's nuanced. We don't know exactly how the market's going to respond, and we're just going to try to react to it instead of predict it. Pending home sales is not really a big impact report. Not at all. If you have a cash account, you don't have to worry about PDT. Well, there's no PDT with the cash account, but you do have the T2 rule, which means you got to wait for your funds to settle after each trade. So if you spend $1,000 in equity a day, you got to wait days to get those funds put back into your account to use them again. And so you're going to be severely restricted with the cash account. Like you also can't short with the cash account. And so if you want to day trade, a cash account's really not what you want to do. Not unless you're like day trading low float penny stocks, but the edge is so low doing those that you probably don't want to do that. If you want to be able to day trade high liquid things that are consistent, then you want to day trade futures. But again, I'm biased, of course. Apex is a sponsor of mine, so Yeah, ask your CPA, Michael. I'm not about to give any tax advice, brother. I'm good, man. No, I'm not using them anymore, crypto. I'm still friendly with them, but I'm not plugging them today, you know. I'm not against them though. They're great. I'm not against them. Yeah, the PDT rule's silly. It's ridiculous. All right, Chad, we still got 15 minutes or so. Yeah, so somebody in chat right now is known to create fake accounts and play both sides. And so they'll be really negative and hateful and then get banned. And then when you respond to the negativity or the hate, they'll come up around on the other side and say, oh, you should just ignore them, bro. Leave them alone. Why are you talking about it so much? And so people are weird and obsessive and kind of stalkerish on the internet. It's unhealthy. But, you know, again, I'm sure that's kind of something that's going on right now. I see a lot of troll uptick. And so people are just freaking weird, you know, and so just take some of the comments with a grain of salt right now. Yeah, fear takes the elevator down. Optimism takes the stairs. Are we gonna sell gold or buy? I don't know. I don't know what gold's gonna do. Gold's moving up. I don't know if it's gonna continue to move up, but it looks strong right now. Maybe not, though. Do you expect a pump today? Not really. I expect today to be somewhat of a low liquidity day. Although NVIDIA's had 11 green weeks in a row, and it looks like it might have its first red week in months. So, we'll see. We got 12 minutes chat. Yeah, we have GDP and jobless claims, which are both pretty big. Yeah, T1 starts soon, but even with that, it's going to be so difficult to really actively trade, man, with a cash account, even if it's T1. All right, NVIDIA's starting to break down under the VWAP, under the 200 EMA. I kind of want to short this in futures, and I might. We still got 10 minutes, so I can take a short here. We're slightly green on the day. So we're going to short this here. I see NVIDIA start to fall. So there's 3 contracts. We'll take 4. And we've got a cushion on the day already, so we're good here. We do have a cushion. Small trades, though. We're just trading small until this data comes out in about 10 minutes. We're slightly green now. There we go. And you see, it's very similar to day trading stocks. Like, look, we're up $10. We're getting in market orders, getting out with market orders. There we go. Up about 20. We're gonna take half of that off, just lock it in. Again, we see NVIDIA start to drop. That's why we shorted this. And it makes sense because NVIDIA is such an influential stock that if NVIDIA breaks under 2 big milestone levels, we can take the appropriate trade on the bottom. We'll take a little bit more off there. Getting up about $100 on the day now. So. All right, we got about 800 people here. We still got 10 minutes left until this stuff comes out. Again, will this stuff help or hurt the market right now, chat? I don't know. Again, here's the Q on the left. Here's NVIDIA. Or no, there's NVIDIA. Here's gold. Yeah, the timer's about a minute early, I would say. About 1 minute early. All right, here. All right. No, this playlist is copyright-free music. All right, 10 minutes, chat. Large caps fall and recover, small caps fall and never recover. 100%. And that's the big edge that people don't realize, right? New traders get talked into investing in penny stock crap. Maybe they have small accounts, maybe they're just kind of gullible, for lack of a better word, and you can talk people into things. But most small cap companies will fail, you know. And I'm not trying to play that edge. The edge is so small. I could buy 10 random blue chip stocks and make money over a 10-year period. If I buy 10 random penny stocks, I'm almost certain to lose money. So it just makes no sense to invest in them. It's just kind of a sucker's bet that new traders get talked into doing. I don't know what Tesla's going to do short term or long term. I'm a bull in Tesla long term, specifically because they've positioned themselves to be on the forefront of full self driving, which I believe is the future. But who knows when that's going to actually be a thing. You know, so who knows when full self driving is really going to be a thing. I'm not going to comment on anybody specifically, Byron. I'm neutral on all of the, and you know, anybody you mention, it's all good. I'm not, you know. Apple finally starting to pull back today. Just looking for an opinion, but I understand. Thanks. Yeah, you're not gonna get. I don't like drama, man. People, again, I'm not one of those guys that's gonna like comment on other people. I don't know. I'm just gonna avoid that type of stuff. You know, we got 7 minutes, chat. 7 minutes. Got about 1,000 people here. I'm in SoundHound. I hope it goes up. I don't know if it's going to, but I hope it goes up. You know, it's gonna depend on AI and what that looks like. It's already had a very large pullback though, so who knows what it'll do moving forward. But it's down. Full self-driving is a thing now. Version 12 is supposed to be brilliant. Yeah, for sure. But what I mean is, like, cars are going to start driving themselves without the need for a driver sitting there. And I think over time that's going to become more, like, I think that's obviously the future of technology in automobiles, right? Is that FSD is going to be the future. It's the future of automobiles, you know? And I think with that, it's going to snowball once people start to really use it and we build the infrastructure for it. I think regulation and infrastructure is going to be the thing holding it back short term, but long term, eventually that's going to get done. Be honest, John, if you got offered $1 million for your channel, would you sell? No. It wouldn't be worth it, to be honest. Based off of what we make, no. Couple mil, maybe. You know, maybe like 2 or 3 mil. I'd probably consider selling it for that. But couple mil now, or 1 mil now. Not enough. Tesla at about 180s right now. So Tesla's had a little rebound from 160s, but I don't know if it's going to bounce back or not. Come to San Fran, yeah. I don't know. It might be in 2 years, might be in 20 for FSD, full self-driving. And again, I think it's the future, and I think if Tesla's they position themselves well to be on the front of it, I think they're going to do really well moving forward. But who knows? I might be wrong, and there's a lot of
There's a lot of nuance that could affect it negatively, I guess. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes. 5 minutes chat. Q is mostly completely sideways. NVIDIA is slightly red, but it's around $900, and I think $900 is a pretty decent milestone level for it. You know, I mean, higher GDP growth means more economic spending and growth, right? Lower GDP growth means less economic spending and growth. It depends on what you think is good. You could argue good is either side of that. You know, high GDP signals more spending, more economic growth, and conventionally that's good. Lower GDP means less spending and less economic growth. And in terms of inflation problems, that could be a good thing as well. Jobless claims, same argument. High jobless claims signals less people working, less people spending, less inflation fears. That's good. Lower jobless claims means more people working, more spending, more economic growth. That's more conventionally good. And so it depends on what the market and the economy is fearing right now. And it's nuanced. It could go either way. I'm not going to make some prediction about how it's going to move, to be honest, because I really don't know. I don't know what's going on with AMC. AMC just dumped. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with AMC. I really don't. There's a bunch of different platforms, T. You can use Rhythmic with Quant Tower, which is what I use, or you can use Tradeovate, which is a web-based platform. So just there's two different options to buy it. You can buy a Rhythmic or a Tradeovate. Tradeovate's web-based, so you don't have to download software. Rhythmic is a software. You can use NinjaTrader or Quant Tower. I'm not sure if you can use other ones. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with AMC, but it's down a lot. Yeah, well, today's kind of like Friday. The market's completely closed tomorrow. You know, we still have PCE data tomorrow, though, so that's very relevant and big. Dilution? Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's an offering, just based off of how much it's down. I'm assuming this is an offering, but I don't know. For AMC, it's down to 370s. All right, guys, here we go. We got about 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. Powell's not talking. He's talking tomorrow. Yeah. All right, guys, really, this timer's a little bit early, so we really got about a minute and 10 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up. You could also put it in fast forward mode, but hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. I appreciate it. All right, chat, 1 minute. 250 million share offering. Potentially for AMC. I can't confirm it yet. Pawn's helping me out there, but yeah, probably the market will react to tomorrow's news on Monday. All right, chat, here we go. GDP data about to drop right now. Right now, GDP data about to come out. Again, expectation is 3.2% for GDP data, 3.2%. Here we go. Let's see if it shows anything good, but all right, here we go. Here's the release, and GDP came in for Canada. Hold on. Waiting. Jobless claims came in at 210,000, lower than expected. GDP came in at 3.4%. Economic growth is being signaled here. This signals economic growth. Again, higher GDP data, higher or lower jobless claims, less
less people filing for unemployment and higher GDP growth at 3.4% versus 3.2% expected. So again, 3.4% GDP data, 3.4%, and then jobless claims came in at 210 versus 212. So again, more economic growth is being signaled here, and the market likes this, right? So the Q is pushing up, NVIDIA pushing up right now. Look at the NASDAQ rip up at 445s. Gold's dipping down a little bit. But again, jobless claims came in at 210. 210 versus 212. We'll put this data up on screen. 210 versus 212. Again, GDP data showed 3.4 versus 3.2. So yeah, so AMC wasn't offering. But again, here is the GDP data. So far, the market likes it. We'll see if it holds. I mean, this all signals economic growth. All right, AMC is in an equity distribution agreement, and it worth up to $250 million is what this is. $3.4 economic growth. Yeah, most of the stuff signals economic growth. More inflation problems, though. I think this means the Fed's less likely to cut rates anytime soon. So again, we have economic growth, but again, I think this means less likelihood of a rate cut anytime soon, more likelihood of a continued pause in the federal funds rate moving forward. I don't think we're going to cut rates on this economic growth. Again, GDP growth is strong. Jobless claims were low, and yeah, interesting here. It depends on so it looks like the market so far is reacting positively to this, although it's not a huge reaction to GDP. We're up a little bit from this report. Gold's actually coming down a little bit, and NVIDIA up there at 900. Let's look at the Dixie. Here's the dollar index. The dollar index is probably moving down, I guess, but it really hasn't reacted to this at all. So that's interesting as well. It moved down a little bit for the Dixie. Gold's moving down some too, though. So again, what this data signals is economic growth. This signals economic growth, strength. Dixie starting to move up, and again, Q starting to turn here. So again, listen, it depends on what the market's fearing. If the market's fearing inflation, right, then this could signal weakness in markets because the market's fearing inflation and more economic growth is bad. We'll try to short this, I guess, because I think inflation problems are still there with this data. Even being good, I think inflation problems are still there. Now, it's a risky bet, and we're already up almost $100 on the day, so we can take a couple positions here and try to play this and see if we break down. But we'll see. Again, it depends on if the market fears inflation, which I think the market probably does. The market's very sideways from this report, though. So again, we're shorting this. There we go. All right, we just covered most of this. Cover a little bit more there. Yeah, we're up about $100 on the day. We'll hold the rest break even. We're right about the direction so far, short term. And again, we're trading on Apex funded accounts. You can see how similar it is to day trading stocks. We're day trading the QQQ price action in the futures market, and there's no PDT in futures. Apex gives you a demo, and it limits your risk in the beginning. If you don't have that much equity and you want to get started for cheap, again, try a funded account program. If you lose, you're only out what you pay for it. The base one's like $30-35, but if you're good enough to pass it, they fund you between $25 to $300,000 with a 90% split. So it's the best of both worlds. Limited risk. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. We're going to short back into this, but if you're good enough to pass it, you know, you get a 90% split anyway. They've paid out over $100 million, and right now they have an 80% off sale going on where you get 80% off packages. And you can use my promo code BT, Beginner Trading BT. You get the max discount at all times. Again, remember though, chat, I am terrible at this stuff. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Understand rule CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical simulated performance results may have certain limitations. All right, so we are making money on this. We're going to cut another piece of that here. We're up over $100 now. We're going to cut a little bit more. And yeah, here's our graph today. We're up about 130 right now. We got a 17-to-1 win-loss ratio today, so we've been very accurate. I don't think we've lost today. I think we have taken profit, and it's counted it as a loss for whatever reason. But outside of that, I don't think we've lost today. We got a 17-to-1 win-loss ratio. Hey, thank you, Shaky. I don't know about Rhythmic on a MacBook. I don't have a Mac. I have a PC. Yeah, they're going to cut rates this year. I don't think it's going to be next month, though, in May. Or I don't think it's going to be in May, I mean. I think it'll be this year, though. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, anything could happen. But I don't think it's going to be in May. I think it'll probably be June, July. All right, so we are bouncing up a little bit. I usually would short this. But again, the Q running into that previous closing price could act as a resistance level. Let's see if I'm going to regret not taking this position short. Looks like I am. See, I thought we might reject. Again, it's still too early. We could bounce back. So, but maybe I should have taken it. Market's open today. Market's closed tomorrow. Yeah, you can use Trade of 8 on Apex Core. And Quant Tower with Rhythmic. Dude, I should have shorted it. I thought we might. And again, the previous closing price here on the Q makes sense to short, but... All right, Dixie's starting to bounce up. Gold testing the 200 EMA. Yeah, the whole market being closed. I thought we would at least have the futures market open tomorrow. But it looks like the futures market's closed too. All right, so we do have softs, grains, and oil seeds open tomorrow, but that's it. All right, so we're bouncing back. We're right around the VWAP. It's weird, though, because we have Powell and PCE data tomorrow. So it's actually a pretty big economic release day. And we're going to stream, but it's just weird. So I'm assuming gold is closed tomorrow, too, right? How many streams of income do you have? About 5. About 5. Yeah, gold's right here. Gold's pulling back to the VWAP here. We're pretty flat now, though. We have slightly reacted negatively to this. And I guess I'm going to short a little bit more, but we're going to keep it small in 2 contracts here, just in case we do bounce back. Keep it light. We built up a pretty decent, like, little cushion on the day here. Part of me wants to take profit early just because we've been so accurate with our trades. All right, we took a little bit off there. Yeah, we've got an 18-to-1 win-loss ratio today, man. Some days are just really good for trading and volatility. Some days aren't. Yeah, I don't know why he's talking tomorrow. I wish they would have done everything today. Like, they should have dropped all this stuff today. We're going to go ahead and get out the rest. So, yeah, we're up about 150 on the day now. 19-to-1 win-loss ratio today. And this is on Apex, a funded account on Apex. This is on a 50K funded account. Hey, bro, do not ask me if you can play video games, dude. Not right now, bro. It's too early, dude. Jack. Okay, look, hold on. Let me mute this. Alright. My son in here trying to make another push for video games. Smart kid. Alright, we're gonna put NVIDIA up. We got the Q price action on the left side here. Here's NVIDIA. Yeah, man, he's smart. We don't allow him to play video games before like 11 a.m. But he knows if I'm busy doing something, he's got a higher likelihood that I'm going to be like, okay. So he tries to come in when I'm busy. Doesn't work, but he tries anyway. Yeah, Tesla. AMC down after doing some type of 200, doing some big offering. Tesla's now dumping down. It's at 179, so Tesla's falling. It's kind of dragging the markets down with us. Gold's still up there, though, bouncing up some. But yeah, there's the equities markets turn a little bit here. Why 11 a.m.? Because he needs to wait in the morning. He again, for his attention span, we're just not going to let him play super early. He's got to wake up and, you know, have a normal morning before he plays video games. Almost 4,000 lightning strikes in 15 minutes off Southwest Florida. Ban lightning. We need common sense lightning laws is my favorite quote here. No, I don't have any cannabis stocks. I used to, not anymore. Data's already out, bro. It might be right below me in big white letters. Could be. It might be. You know, could be. Again, NVIDIA down to 895. So the whole market's kind of turning down a little bit. We have 45 minutes until the market opens, though. Is the music too loud? Do you want me to change it? But yeah, I don't have any cannabis stocks. I gotta wait for trades, though. I gotta wait for something. Music's good. All right, we're consolidating down here. Gold breaking under the 200 EMA. NVIDIA's trying to bounce. It's at 896. If we bounce up, we might short, but do I need to sell NVIDIA? I have no idea. This is a mix of like lo-fi music and techno. It's all copyright free music. Chicago PMI markets. We don't have that today, do we? Oh, we do have Chicago PMI. All right, we're cracking lows again. All right, so now we're bouncing up a little bit here. All right, still trying to move down. Gold consolidating, though. We're slowing down, though. So, again, you see me slow down my trades when the market slows because there's just not much going on. We got to wait. We do have Powell tomorrow. Dang, bro. Oh my gosh, man. Ninja has been diagnosed with cancer. What kind of cancer? That's sad, dude. Again, y'all might not know Ninja. He's like a Fortnite streamer. I'm not a big Fortnite guy, bro. That's before my time, or that's after my time, bro. I was more of like Halo player personally. What kind of cancer, though? Okay, so apparently it's melanoma, which sucks, but it's a form of skin cancer. I'm pretty sure that's he's very likely to survive from it.
No, I have to talk.
Yeah, I'm reading about this now. He had a mole removed on his foot. It turns out it was severely dysplastic, borderline close to, but obviously as close as it can be to melanoma. So a mole, I mean, you know, it is what it is. We're starting to bounce back up a little bit. I might short a little bit of this now. Small size, of course. We're going to take 2, 3, 4 contracts. Maybe just 3. We're going to keep it at 3. I'm not going to take anything larger than this. We've been very lucky with our trades so far today where we've made money on all of them, almost all of them. So hopefully we can keep that trend alive. There we go. And took some more profit. It looks like it's going to be another green trade. We'll keep the rest and sit on the rest now. Could add to this a little bit too. But ideally, I'm just looking for a little breakdown here. There we go. Take a little bit more off there. Lock that in. Get out the rest there. So not bad here. We're up almost 170 on the day. Getting close to $200. Powell's touching on the economy tomorrow, so it's another surprising thing that he's doing it when all markets are closed. It's not just one market. It's like usually the stock market's closed with the futures markets open. For whatever reason, tomorrow all markets are closed, and then Powell and PCE data comes out. You would think they would reschedule PCE data outside of tomorrow. It's very weird, very weird. The whole market's, closed tomorrow. Okay, we're going to try to get some trades in today. So today's essentially like Friday. Where's Bitcoin? Yeah, the halving is going to be 420. April 20th is when it's scheduled. Bitcoin is still doing great this morning, too. Man, my accuracy today is kind of crazy, man. 23-1. This might be the best win-loss ratio I've ever had. Win-loss. 23-1. Which gives me an accuracy rate today, chat, of 96%. 96% accuracy today so far. And even the one that I lost on, I don't think I should have lost on it. I think it was just kind of profit taking, and a fill got me up there to where I lost on it. But I think I'm basically no losses today for the most part. Maybe one small loss, but PC's tomorrow. Yeah. I'm sure it spreads. Where'd my music go? There it is. All right. We did get a bounce up. Again, part of me wants to short this. Look at gold, though. Gold's approaching highs of the day. So gold's moving up. And again, we've been day trading on Apex. This is Apex. Again, what Apex did is they gave me a demo account. They gave me a $50,000 demo account, paper account, right? I was able to make $3,000 on that 50K demo without losing. I can't remember what the win-loss necessary required is, but I was able to pass the challenge. It's a challenge, right? So they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you could pass that test, then they fund you the same amount. So they gave me a $50,000 demo. I could use 10 contracts of the regular E-mini, 100 micros if I want to. I had to make $3,000 without losing 2,500. A really reasonable win-loss, or really reasonable ratio there, 2.5 to 3 ratio, very reasonable ratio. So not too shabby. And again, I was able to do it. So now I'm funded on a $50,000 demo, or I'm funded on a $50,000 account with a 90% split. And so we're able to take these trades on our funded account. And again, this was only like, right now you get 80% off. So right now it's 80% off. So if we look at how cheap that is. So this only cost me to get funded in this $50,000 account. It only cost me $33, like $34 right now. And it's a one-day pass, so I was able to do it immediately. And so again, great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. If you lose, you're only out $33, $34, $35 after tax, or whatever it is, $40 maybe after tax. Again, it's not the end of the world. But if you're good enough to pass it like this, I got $50K in funding. So it's the best of both worlds, limited risk. Very similar to day trading stocks as well. This is basically the Q price action. So if you look at the Q right now, you can also trade gold. But if you look at the Q, it's the same thing. Big upward move, kind of a U-shape. Big upward move, U-shape, same price action, but there's no PDT rule on what I'm doing. So that's the use of it. Again, Apex right now, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased because they pay me money. And so, of course, I'm biased because they pay me money. You always want to vet everything with them. I just think most day traders lose. And I think it's silly to put up thousands of dollars yourself risking thousands of dollars. I think most day traders will lose this as well. I think most day traders lose. It doesn't matter where they go. Right? But it's a lot cheaper to lose an Apex account than it is to put up $4 or $5 in the market thinking you're about to get rich and then lose all of that. And so it doesn't make sense. If you want to learn to day trade, try this first. Again, here's the link. Use promo code BT. Get you the max discount at all times. BT. Convince my boyfriend to give me money to try it. If you don't give her the money to try it, right? It's highly likely that she's going to instead try to fund a regular account with thousands of dollars and probably lose that. Like, let's be honest here. I did in the beginning. At least that's what, again, I can't say that's going to happen, but that's what I did in the beginning. Same thing. I saved up thousands of dollars. I went and saw the movie The Big Short in 2013 or 2014. Saw the movie The Big Short in theaters with my wife. Came back, wanted to learn to trade. Saved up $4,000. Researched day trading. Saw a bunch of penny stock gurus telling me I could find financial freedom if I just bought their trading course, of course, I'm not really a course buyer. I'm not saying you could Google and find a lot of these traders courses on the internet for free somewhere. I would never recommend you guys do that. But but yeah, so I got home. I thought I was just about to get rich. I saved up $4,000. My wife's like, John, don't do it. Don't do it, John. I'm like, no, I'm about to get rich. I lost that 4K in like 2 weeks. It was all gone. And so again, I wish I would have had something like this. I really do. Now, again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'd profit if you signed up. And so full transparency. But yeah. My girlfriends are looking for financial advice. I'm the top 3 worst financial advice giver in the world right now. I don't know if you have a limit. I don't think you have a limit. All right, so we have now a U-shaped pattern here. I don't know what we're going to do with this now. So I don't know what we're going to do here. Social media is hilarious. All right, we're still heading up here, chat. We still got 25 minutes left. 25 minutes. The market's been on a bullish trend over the last 20 minutes or so. Again, we're pretty neutral middle range, though. We're now technically we're green from GDP data again. So again, GDP data signaled economic growth. We're now technically green from this report. All right, so now we bounce all the way back up. Gold's still pretty strong here. NVIDIA testing the 200 EMA. We're still under $900 a share, but we're testing that level now. Again, I've kind of slowed down trading at this point in time. I don't trust it. I mean, yeah, real estate professionals do not want to see rate hikes. Again, what rate hikes signal is higher interest rates, and that's just not something that they want. GDP came in higher than expected. Jobless claims came in lower than expected. Both of these signal economic growth and strength. All right, now we got a little pullback here. NVIDIA over the 200 EMA. I might switch to a long trade, but I might just wait. You know, we've had really good accuracy today. I might just hang out and wait for now. Still sitting tight. What's the MNQ M4 chart? This is the NASDAQ 100 micro futures contract. MNQ M4 is M stands for micro, NQ stands for NASDAQ, M4 is the current contract that rolls over every quarter. And so every quarter it rolls over, we got to switch. Last one was H4, now it's M4. So yeah, it just depends. But MNQ is the base contract. So if I put in MNQ here, like it'll put up the same chart on TOS, right? So it's the micro NASDAQ 100 futures contract. NVIDIA is still testing $900 right now. I'm in SoFi. I don't know what it's gonna do though. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Again, I'm just trying to hang out. I'm trying to be as patient as I can. Remember, today's kind of like Friday. The whole market's closed tomorrow. Now, we're still going to stream a little bit tomorrow, but, you know. But yeah, markets are closed. Who do y'all have, Marab Divishdali or Sean O'Malley? I don't know, bro. Marab is a beast, man. It's going to be hard. All right, so market sideways. Again, we've slowed down. We had a bunch of good trades. Now we're kind of sideways. You're gonna wait for us to break. We're pretty neutral. Like we're right around where we started GDP data. So GDP data came out here, and we're basically right around that spot now. I'm just gonna let it hold. You know, we might just get straight consolidation from this. Starting to test this high. We'll see if we can break this previous high right here at 18.5K. Testing up there now. So look, now we're bouncing towards this level. Again, we'll see if this acts as a resistance or not. We still have about 15 minutes before the market opens. All right, we're testing it now. But again, we're kind of neutral here. The reason I'm not really taking a trade is because I think we could go either way. We're right around this middle ground spot. So I just don't trust either side here. I think we could go up or down. AMC did an offering, I think. So yeah, AMC did an offering, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so we're moving up to test this level again. If we break this level, it'll be a big, like, kind of a big level right now on this chart. NVIDIA is still sitting just under 900 bucks too. So like here's NVIDIA just under that $900 milestone level, which is a big spot. It's a big level. All right, so we're just testing this level now. So we're testing this level, see if we can break and hold it. If we do break it, let's see if it turns into support. That's all we got to watch for. All right, so we're over it. 18.5, kind of a milestone level on an intraday basis, but there's the rip. We're over that level. Let's see if it holds support now. Again, watch NVIDIA as well. If NVIDIA rejects at 900, it could weigh the rest of the market down. All right, so we're testing that level now, trying to hold support. All right, so now we're back kind of under that level now. Crypto, I mean, Bitcoin's been ripping up. Yeah, we do have some stuff dropping today. We have consumer sentiment and Chicago PMI data. So not the biggest release, but you know. All right, so now we're back under that level. Again, very flat action. It's one of the reasons I kind of slowed down my trading. The GDP data did drop. Jobless claims did come out too. I don't really want to buy this. It's too sideways, to be completely honest. Testing that previous level. Wait, the nominal GDP really, it's already out. It's already out. NVIDIA. Yeah, I mean, I don't know when NVIDIA is going to split, though. All right, we're down. Let's see if we got this support level here also.
split would likely come July at earliest. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the price is. I think, companies are going to want to capitalize on a higher share price. So it depends on what the price is, realistically. All right, chat, we got about 7.5 minutes. Sideways action, though. Maybe the opening bell will give us better stuff. Tesla didn't split, it would trade above. Micron will be the new NVIDIA in a couple months. Nah, man. MU is good and all, but like it's not a heavily watched stock like that. I mean, if people watch it and trade it and invest in it, of course, but it's nothing like NVIDIA. It's had a great run though, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think so. Gold going up or down? Gold's going up today, down over the last 10 minutes. With the rest of the market, really. I don't trust NKLA. I type about 90 words. 90 to 100 words per minute or so, give or take. Depends on how lucky I get with my typing test, but it's fast. Like, look. All right, we're testing that previous high, but we're pretty sideways. Like, look. Depends on how lucky I get with words. Yeah, some days I'm feeling it. I've heard about this story. You know what I mean? Like, that's about 83 words per minute. So, you know, best that I've done is about 93. If I would have had no typos, it would have been 90. It would have been a little bit higher, but yeah, it's about the best as I can do. You know, I'm not bad. Like, I can type quickly. If I had a really good run, I could probably get 100, you know. But yeah. All right, we're still pretty sideways in that range that we've drawn. MicroStrategy is a weird stock. It moves with Bitcoin. Like, it's moving with Bitcoin. All right, guys, we get the opening bell in about 3 minutes. Yeah, I don't trust NKLA at all. They're the company that rolled the truck down the hill and got accused of fraud and all this stuff. I just don't like them. I think they're going to fail. I think most up-and-coming EV brands are going to fail. Why? Because nobody wants to freaking buy an NKLA vehicle. Nobody wants to take that risk. It's a dumb risk. Testing the bottom of that range now. Right, exactly. That's exactly what it is. How fast you can read. Top 3 readers in the world right now. But yeah, I think it has to do with processing speed, like how fast you can process things, as well as like I took a conventional typing course when I was young in school. And so I think if you know how to type the correct way, you can type fast. You know, it just depends. Reading plays a lot of it as well. Yeah, I know they got rid of it, but I just think it's going to be really hard to sell cars in that way. All right, here's the opening bell in about a minute. Nobody wants to buy an NKLA vehicle. Like, seriously, outside of investing in the stock, right? Like, let's say, again, let's say you didn't invest in the company and you had never seen the stock before. Would you buy an NKLA? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't buy a Lucid. You wouldn't buy, a Mullen. Like, you're not going to buy these up-and-coming EV brands outside of investors in the company. And so they just don't have the consumer base they need to succeed in that way, I think. Most of these brands like this are going to fail. Like, they just don't have it. Yeah, same thing with me as well, Michael. All right, chat. Heading into the opening bell now, 10 seconds. All right, there's the open. Still in this range. Finally cracked this range. Watching Nvidia. Nvidia's right at $900. We're gonna let things play out first. All right, there's a flush breakdown here. It looks weak. You can trade Ninja Trader, Zachary, or Quant Tower. I'm using Quant Tower on the left side here. This is a Quant Tower platform on the left right here. Yeah, I see some Rivians in my area. All right, so we are getting a flush here in markets. I'll probably stream a little bit. I'm definitely going to stream Powell. Look at that support draw. Look at that skill right there. Look at that. All right. Another string of good trades. We're up about 200 on the day now. We got Chicago PMI data in about 25 minutes as well. Yeah, it's hard to tell if the people telling us every 0.25% drop is a stock market crash or trolls, or whether they're actually just that gullible. You know what I mean? Like, this happens every day at the opening bell. Almost always at the open you get drops. Why? Because people take profit. You know, profit taking happens at the opening bell. You get drops. It's not the end of the world though. You know, it's shocking how many people think that this drop is a crash. You know, but it happens a lot, man. You'd be surprised. And then the market rebounds and they say, oh, manipulation, you know, or whatever it is, because they're upset it's moving back up. But like, people get so emotional about it. Finally starting to rebound back up. Yeah, it's a holiday weekend. Today's like a Friday, chat. Bouncing all the way back up after some profit taking at the open. All right, so all the way back up again, as we said. Starting to rebound again. We're just kind of sitting tight. Hold on, chat. I'll be right back. I'm not sure why Carol's not letting Bruce out. Hold on. All right, we're back. What's the thought for today? More economic growth is what the economic data showed. NVIDIA all the way back to $900 a share. What a big market crash this morning, huh? Am I right? People are silly, man. All right, starting to head back up. Watch NVIDIA. NVIDIA right at the previous close. This might influence us. We'll see. All right, we got two contracts here. We're trading small. We took profit there. Take a little bit more profit there as well. Not a bad day. Again, we're over $200 in profit here. We've got a 27-to-1 win-loss ratio. 27-to-1. You know, you love to see it. How do you show profit or loss? You go to the top left symbol, like you click the symbol, and then you go down to informational and go to account performance, PRF, account performance. You just click that and it'll give you it. All right, NVIDIA still moving up now. NVIDIA technically green on the day, up to 903s. We are starting to head up a little bit, chat. Alright, so again, NVIDIA's starting to run up to almost 905s. That's what's dragging the NASDAQ up with us. Gold's still consolidating, though. Yeah, all good, Rich. Disney hit yearly highs. Where's all the people making fun of my Disney trade now? Yeah, PMI in 3 minutes, chat. Actually, I said it was 10 a.m. It's 9:45. Oops. So Chicago PMI at 9:45, chat. So really, it's in about 2.5 minutes. So we'll see how this moves the market. Yeah, NVIDIA is still probably going to have its first red week in 11 weeks or so because it's had 11 green weeks in a row. In order to not be green, in order to not be red this week, though, it needs to hit 974. Or no, I'm sorry. It just needs to hit 940. If it can close over 945, it'll technically be green. I still think that's unlikely. It's at 904s now, so it's need to go up a lot. It's a testing high. So, all right, guys, we got about a minute and 25 seconds left. A minute and 25 seconds. Does this help or hurt the market? Expectations for this economic report is 45.9. Higher signals strength in manufacturing. 45.9. One minute, chat. PMI is the Purchasing Managers Index. Its strength or weakness in manufacturing in the U.S. is what this is. All right, 30 seconds, chat. Snow at 164s. All right, here we go. Here's the report. Chicago PMI 41.4, 41.4, lower than expected. Weakness in manufacturing. This might signal this might signal rising in prices because of less inflation fears. 41.4 versus 45.9. Basically 46 expected, 41.4 showed up. So lower than expected. Market is running up a little bit. Market is running up a little bit. All right, so now we're dipping down a little bit, but again, 41.4 versus 46 roughly expected here. So again, we'll put this up on screen. Market is moving up. And again, if you want to check out one of my sponsors, these are both sponsors of mine. I'm biased in their favor. You want to confirm all of this stuff with them. Great way to help support the channel. But remember, they are a sponsor of mine. I'm biased because they pay me money. And so I'm biased in their favor. I can't guarantee anything. You want to vet all of this stuff with them first. Great way to help support the channel. Understand rule CFTC 4.41. But with that said, check out Apex funded account programs. Look at the market rip up. NVIDIA up to 910s. Will it have another green week? It could. Check out Apex. I'm day trading on Apex today. I have a very nice win-loss ratio. Just today alone, day trading, we had a 27-to-1 win-loss ratio on our $50,000 funded account on Apex. It's not the biggest gains, but we're trying to build up slow profit first, and then we'll trade a little bit larger afterwards. But not too shabby. Again, what Apex does is they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you could pass the test, they fund you. If you can't pass the test, you would probably lose much more trying to day trade with a regular account, realistically. Lose thousands of dollars trying to day trade with a regular account. And this way, your risk is limited. The base one's $25K.
demo account is what they give you. If you can hit $1,500 in profit without losing $1,500, a 1-to-1 ratio, a reasonable ratio, they fund you $25K with a 90% split as long as you can follow their rules. There's no PDT in futures. I can essentially day trade the QQQ price action, the S&P 500 price action, no PDT restrictions. And again, Apex has paid out over $100 million. They are a sponsor of mine. I'll post this link. Great way to help support the channel. If I don't see you tomorrow, again, we do have Jerome Powell tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, use promo code BT for Apex, by the way. BT, it'll get you the max discount at all times. Right now, they have 80% off. My other sponsor is a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view service. You can use it stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. Genuinely powerful. Like, we usually look at like a 1-minute chart, but you can look at charts from anywhere from hourly, daily, 15-minute. You know, and check these out. Again, these are hourly charts right here. Hourly charts. I wanted to look at an hourly chart for once. Again, but you can use this on a 1-minute, 5-minute. Look at the strong signals and look at how far. So each candlestick represents an hour. And this is a trading view service. Again, you can use in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. Sell signal here, hours, days, really, of breakdown. Strong signal here, hours of bullish action. Sell signal here, literal days. Buy signal here, nice little follow through over the next few hours. Strong sell signal there, you get a drop. Buy signal, literally called the bottom on an hourly chart. Follow through, sell signal, drop. This one maybe you could say was wrong, maybe. So we'll call it wrong just to be safe. This one we got a little flush. Strong buy signal here, beautiful bounce. Sell signal showed up way back here. Hours of drops. Genuinely impressive on an hourly chart. Again, test it out yourself. One good trade can pay for it, although I can't guarantee you're going to make money with it. Nobody can. It's like $40 a month, though. Try it out. Anything with the symbol on TradingView, it's custom TradingView indicators is what it is. And again, I'll put this link up. We will be back tomorrow, guys. We will be back tomorrow. The market is closed, and so if I don't see you tomorrow, you know, have a great weekend. Again, we will be back tomorrow because Jerome Powell speaks and we have PCE data. So like, even if the market's closed, we still have, the show must go on a little bit today. And so yeah, y'all be safe. Again, test Chart Prime out yourself. I can't guarantee you're gonna make money. Nobody can. And again, remember, chat, I am terrible. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Good luck. I love you all. Y'all be safe. Understand all these rules, and I'll see you tomorrow if you're gonna be here. If not, y'all have a safe holiday for all my holiday traders. And again, I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Just using the link will get you the discount, bro. But yeah, I'll see you guys later.